The Crash and the Cave. The sky above planet Zirina was calm and blue. Birds with glowing feathers flew between the tall crystal trees. But then, everything changed. A loud boom shook the jungle. The peaceful sky turned into fire. A human escape pod came crashing down, trailing smoke and flames behind it. It hit the ground hard, sliding through the trees and dirt until it slammed into a hill. Silence followed. Not far away, a young alien girl named Zira stood frozen. She had seen the fire from the sky. Her tribe always told her, never go near the outsiders. They bring danger. But her heart was curious. And something inside her whispered, someone is hurt. She grabbed her satchel of healing roots and herbs and ran toward the smoke. When she reached the crash site, her breath caught in her throat. The escape pod was torn open. Metal was everywhere. Something was sparking. Inside, lying half-covered in broken glass and wires, was a human. He was tall, bruised and bleeding. His eyes were shut. He wasn't moving. Zira looked around. No other humans. No rescue ship. No noise. Except the jungle. He's alone, she whispered. Zira's skin shimmered slightly in fear. If her father found out, he would punish her. But she couldn't walk away. Carefully, she reached in and pulled him free, using all her strength. He was heavy. Blood dripped from a cut on his forehead. His leg looked twisted, maybe broken. His uniform was torn and burned. Zira dragged him slowly, pulling him into the thick jungle. Her tribe couldn't see her. She took him to a hidden cave near a waterfall, her secret place where she sometimes brought sick animals. Inside the cool, dark cave, Zira laid him down on soft moss. She lit small glowing stones on the walls to create light. Then she began her work. She cleaned his wounds with water. She crushed red leaves and made a paste for his burns. She tied his leg with thick vines like a splint. But he still didn't wake up. Hours passed. Zira sat beside him, her hand resting on his chest. His heartbeat was weak, but steady. Please, don't die, she said softly. I don't even know your name. Then she noticed something strange. The lower part of his body was moving slightly, like something was swelling between his legs under the fabric. Zira tilted her head. Her species didn't have such changes in their bodies. She thought, is it a parasite? A growth? She leaned closer. Carefully, she placed her fingers over the strange shape. It felt hot, pulsing, alive. Is this an injury? She whispered. She gently pressed it. The shape moved slightly. The human groaned. Zira quickly pulled her hand back. Her eyes widened in alarm. Had she hurt him? No. Wait. He's waking up? She touched the swelling again, this time slower, trying to see if it caused pain or helped. The human shifted. His head turned. His eyes fluttered open. Blue eyes. Sharp, alert, and now staring right at her. Zira froze. He looked confused, weak, but also surprised. Who are you? He said, his voice raspy. Zira's voice trembled. You. Crash. I save. The human blinked. He looked down at her hand, still near the swelling, then back at her face. Oh. Wow. He mumbled, and then passed out again. Zira quickly pulled back her hand, cheeks burning with glowing violet blush. She didn't fully understand what just happened, but she knew one thing. This human was not just a stranger. Something bigger had just begun. And outside the cave, something else was watching. Zira sat quietly beside the human, her mind spinning with questions. Her hand still tingled from where it had touched the strange swelling. She had never seen anything like it. In her species, injuries swelled with infection, but this was different. It pulsed like it had a will of its own. The human had opened, his eyes for only a moment, then passed out again. Zira leaned forward, watching his chest rise and fall. She wiped sweat from his forehead with a soft leaf. The fever was getting worse. If she didn't act soon, He might not survive the night. She reached into her satchel and pulled out a glowing green root. Crushing it between her fingers, she made a warm paste and carefully smeared it over his broken leg. His body twitched slightly, but she knew he couldn't feel much. His body was in shock. Then her eyes were pulled again to the strange bump between his legs. "What are you hiding?" she whispered. She had seen hundreds of wounded bodies. Her tribe often fought wild beasts. She knew how to find infection, break fevers, and reset bones. But this didn't fit anything she had learned. She didn't want to cause harm. But if this was something dangerous, something growing inside him, Zaira swallowed her fear. She placed her fingers gently on the cloth over the swelling. It was warm. It jumped at her touch. Startled, she pulled back again. "It moved," she whispered. "Like it wants something." This time she steadied herself. Her healer's mind took over. She pressed again, firmer. The swelling shifted and grew slightly. A deep sound came from the man's throat. She froze. The sound wasn't pain. It wasn't fear. It was something else. Confused, Zaira began rubbing slowly, trying to understand the reaction. She expected a lump to break open or fluid to drain. That's what usually happened with animal abscesses. But nothing like that happened. Instead, the human's breathing changed. He moaned, softly, and his body twitched again. Then, without warning, his hand grabbed hers. Zaira gasped. Her heart jumped. She looked at him. His eyes were open, clear, focused, no longer weak. "Stop," he said gently. His voice wasn't angry, but it was firm. Zaira tried to pull her hand back, but he didn't let go. "What is it?" she asked in a soft, shaky voice. The man looked confused for a moment, then smiled awkwardly. "It's not an injury," he said, chuckling weakly. "It's normal for a human." Zaira blinked. "It grows?" "Only sometimes," he said, then coughed. "Usually not when we're half dead, though." Zaira pulled her hand away quickly. Her cheeks glowed with deep purple. I thought it was infected." The man chuckled again, wincing from pain. "No, definitely not infected." There was an awkward silence between them. Finally, he spoke again. "What's your name?" "Zaira," she whispered. "I'm Logan," he replied. "And thank you for saving me." Zaira nodded, still unsure where to look. She kept her eyes on his leg. "You crashed from sky. I thought you'd die." "I almost did," Logan said, trying to sit up. He winced and laid back down. "Still might." Zaira reached for a small fruit beside her. She broke it open and offered the glowing juice to him. He drank slowly. "Where am I?" he asked. "My world," she answered. "Serena, Jungle Land. My people live far." "Your people, will they help me?" Zaira looked down. "No, they hate humans. Say you bring fire, death." Logan sighed. "Sounds like most planets these days." Zaira tilted her head. "But you don't look like monster." Logan smiled. "And you don't look like a killer." That made her smile too. Then a deep growl echoed from outside the cave. Zaira stood quickly. Her ears twitched. She picked up her carved spear from the cave. "Oh, what's that?" Logan asked, his face growing pale. Zaira looked at him. "Something big hunts at night, smelled blood." Another growl, closer this time. Heavy footsteps crunched leaves just outside. Logan tried to sit up. "I can help, give me something." "You stay," Zaira said, pressing his shoulder down. "You weak." The creature's shadow passed by the cave entrance. Its breath was deep and angry. Yellow eyes peeked inside. Zaira stepped forward, spear, ready, body trembling. The beast sniffed the air, its nose twitching. Its teeth gleamed in the dim light. It roared, shaking the walls. Zaira didn't move. Suddenly, Logan picked up a rock and threw it hard at the beast's head. The rock hit. The beast roared in pain and charged inside. Zyra shouted and stabbed forward. The cave filled with chaos, screams, roars, blood. Then, silence. The beast lay still, dead. Zyra was breathing fast, covered in sweat and dirt. Logan looked at her in shock. You fought that thing. For me? Zyra turned, her hand shaking. You mine now, she said without thinking. Logan blinked. What? She quickly corrected herself, face turning purple. I protect now. Logan chuckled. Same thing, huh? They both laughed, but outside, in the shadows, more eyes watched. Logan opened his eyes to soft blue light flickering across the cave walls. A strange, sweet smell filled the air, like crushed berries and fresh rain. For a moment he thought he was dreaming. Then he felt the pain. His legs screamed, his ribs ached, and his throat was dry like sand. He groaned softly and tried to sit up. A voice whispered, "Don't move." He looked to the side. The alien girl from before, Zyra, was kneeling beside him. Her silver eyes reflected the cave light like a mirror. Her hands gently pressed a damp leaf to his forehead. "You burn like fire," she said, fever growing. Logan let out a weak laugh. And here I thought the worst part was the crash. Zyra frowned. "You fell from sky. Fire ate your ship. You should be dead." "I feel half dead," Logan muttered, glancing at the splint on his leg. "Did you fix this?" She nodded. "I learned healing from my mother. She was healer. Before the sickness took her." "I'm sorry," he said softly. Zyra blinked, surprised by his tone. "You kind." Logan gave her a crooked smile. "Only on weekdays." She didn't understand the joke, but she smiled back anyway. He sat up slowly with her help. His muscles trembled, but he stayed upright. The light in the cave danced across Zyra's face as she studied him, curious, cautious. "You speak my language pretty well," he said. Zyra shrugged. "Learned from old human books. Left after First War. We study them in secret." Logan raised an eyebrow. "War?" She nodded. "Long ago, humans came to Sirena, took crystal wood, hunted our beasts. We fought. They burned villages." He sighed. "Sounds like humans." Zyra's eyes narrowed slightly. "But you, not same." Logan looked at her. "What makes you think that? You not fear me, you not hurt me. Even when I touched strange part of you." He choked on his breath and turned red. "Right. That." Zyra tilted her head. "You never explain. What is it?" Logan tried to find the right words. "It's part of how humans reproduce." Zyra stared blankly. "You know, to make babies," he added. Her eyes widened. "So, I touched your baby maker?" He laughed so hard he winced. "Let's not call it that." Zyra's face turned a deep shade of violet. She looked down clearly, embarrassed. "I thought it was injury, I meant no shame." "It's fine," Logan said quickly. "You didn't know." They sat in silence for a while. Zyra handed him a cup made from a hollowed fruit shell. Inside was glowing water that smelled like mint. He drank, and the heat in his body cooled slightly. "You saved me," he said at last. "And I owe you." Zyra looked at him seriously. "I broke law. My tribe says no help for humans. They hate your kind. If they find you here, they will kill you." Logan frowned. "Then why save me?" Zyra's answer was simple. "Because no one else would." He looked at her, surprised by the honesty. "You risked everything." Zyra didn't speak. Instead, she picked up a stone and crushed a pink herb into powder, mixing it with water. She pressed the paste on a bruise on his shoulder. Her hands were gentle, careful. Logan watched her work. "You could have left me. I wouldn't even blame you." Zyra finally looked up. "But I didn't." Outside, a soft howl broke the quiet moment. It was far, but Logan could feel the fear in Zyra's eyes. What was that? She stood up, grabbing her spear. Night creatures. They smell your blood. They hunt near cave. Logan tried to reach for a stick nearby. He managed to grab it and used it to stand, balancing on one leg. You can't fight, Zyra warned. I won't let you face them alone, Logan said. She smiled faintly. You humans, always so proud. And you aliens, he said. Always, full of secrets. Suddenly, there was a rustling sound at the cave entrance. Zyra rushed forward, spear ready. A shadow passed by, low and fast. They both froze, but the shadow vanished. Zyra exhaled slowly. Just a night runner. Not hunter yet. Still young. Logan leaned back against the wall. Your planet really wants me dead. Zyra chuckled. Serena is harsh, but it's home. Logan looked around the cave. Despite the danger outside, it felt safe in here. With her. The air smelled of strange herbs and smoke, and Zyra's soft humming filled the silence as she crushed another batch of medicine. Let his eyes close. Before sleep took him again, he whispered, Thanks for everything. Zyra didn't answer, but her hand brushed against his and she didn't pull it away. Outside, in the dark jungle, more shadows moved. Something else had picked up his scent. The moon above Zerina rose higher, glowing green through the thick jungle trees. Its strange light made the leaves shimmer like silver fire. But deep in the undergrowth, something darker moved, slow, heavy, and hungry. Inside the cave, Zyra couldn't sleep. She stood near the entrance, her spear in hand, listening. Her pointed ears twitched at every sound, the wind brushing leaves, the chirps of night insects, and something else. Something heavy, a pattern in the silence, a hunter's rhythm. She looked back. Logan was asleep again, his breath shallow but steady. His leg was healing, but slowly. If danger came, he wouldn't be able to run or fight. Zyra's grip tightened on her spear. Then she heard it, a low growl deep like thunder under the ground. Her heart skipped. Zyra crouched low and crept outside the cave entrance. The jungle smelled different now. The scent of wet earth was mixed with something sharp like rotting meat and burning stones. Her eyes scanned the trees. A branch cracked. A massive shape stepped into the moonlight. It was a jungle mauler, four-legged, covered in black fur with glowing red eyes and curved claws as long as Zyra's arm. Its nose twitched. It had caught the human scent. Zyra's breath froze. Maulers were not common here. They hunted alone, never stopped once they locked on prey, and killed even when not hungry. Her father once told her, if a mauler finds you, run. If you can't run, pray. But she wouldn't run. Not with Logan behind her. The beast stepped closer to the cave. Its growl echoed off the rocks. Zyra stood tall and raised her spear. Go away, she whispered. Not tonight. The mauler stopped. It looked straight at her. Then, it roared. Zyra charged. She leapt forward, jabbing the spear at its eye. The mauler dodged and swung its claw, barely missing her. She rolled to the side, landing in wet mud. Her arm stung, but she didn't stop. The beast snapped its jaws and lunged. Zyra ducked and stabbed the spear into its shoulder. It howled in pain, throwing her to the ground. Inside the cave, Logan woke to the noise. He struggled to his feet, grabbing the stick he used as a crutch. He limped toward the cave entrance and froze when he saw the monster. Zyra! Zyra heard him, but didn't look. The mauler lunged again, faster this time. It knocked her against a tree. Logan didn't think. He grabbed the biggest rock he could find and hurled it with all his strength. The rock hit the mauler's back. It growled and turned toward him. Hey! Logan shouted, waving his arms. Come get me, you ugly space dog. Zyra, dazed and bleeding, looked up. What are you doing? Buying time, he yelled. The mauler charged at Logan. Zyra screamed. No! With the last of her strength, she threw her broken spear. It flew through the air and struck the beast in its side. piercing deep. The mauler roared in pain and collapsed just before reaching Logan. Silence fell. Zira dragged herself up, limping toward him. You could have died. Logan was breathing hard. You were going to die. I couldn't just lie there. She stared at him. You're injured. And you're bleeding. They both laughed, weak but alive. Zira collapsed beside him. You are foolish. I get that a lot, Logan said, wiping blood from his cheek. She tore a piece of her robe and began wrapping the wound on his arm. Her hands were shaky but careful. He looked at her with tired eyes. Why did you fight that thing? Zira didn't speak at first. Then, in a soft voice, she said, because I didn't want to lose the first good thing that ever fell from the sky. Logan blinked, unsure how to respond. But in that moment, the pain in his leg didn't seem so bad. As they sat beside the dead beast, Zira whispered, We must leave tomorrow. My tribe will come. They will see fire, blood. They will not listen. Can you walk? Logan asked. Zira nodded. I'll manage, will you? With help, he said, smiling. She reached out and took his hand. Then we walked together. Behind them, the cave flickered with soft light. The body of the beast steamed in the cold air. But in their hearts, something warm had started to grow. A bond not born of blood or tribe, but of fire, fear, and choice. And somewhere far away, someone from Zira's tribe had already seen the smoke. The jungle was quiet now. No more growls, no more crashing. The dead mauler's body was still warm, but the danger had passed. Morning light crept over the horizon, painting the leaves gold. Zira and Logan sat near the edge of the cave, their backs against the stone. Neither spoke at first. The silence between them was not empty. It was full of meaning. Zira's fingers gently brushed the bandage on Logan's arm. You almost died. He looked at her with a tired smile. You keep saying that, but you keep saving me. You saved me too, she said, from the mauler. You could not walk, but you still stood for me. Logan shrugged. I guess I'm just stupid. Zira laughed softly. Stupid, but brave. They looked at each other for a long moment. The silence returned. This time, it felt different, warmer. Then Zira spoke again, her voice quiet. In my tribe, the part of your body I touched before, the swelling, has special meaning. Logan froze, then slowly sat up straighter. Yeah, that was unexpected. Zira's cheeks turned violet with blush. I did not know what it was. I thought it was sickness, I swear by the stars. I believe you, Logan said gently. But now I know, she continued, looking away. In my culture, to touch, there means a promise, a bond. It is only done between life partners. Logan's eyes widened. Wait, so when you... I touched your soul, she said, interrupting. He blinked. That's... wow. I mean, that's beautiful. A little scary, but beautiful. Zira hugged her knees. I broke a sacred rule. You are not of my kind. The elders would say I brought shame. But you didn't mean to, Logan said. It was a mistake. Yes, she nodded. But the meaning still remains. I touched what is sacred to you. And now, I feel something inside me is changing. She looked into his eyes. I see you not as other. I see you as mine. Logan swallowed hard. You barely know me. Zira tilted her head. Then help me know. He laughed softly. That's fair. They sat together as the sun rose higher. Logan told her about Earth, its oceans, its cities, its wars. She listened with wide eyes, sometimes laughing, sometimes frowning. In return, Zira told him about her people, how they lived with the jungle, how they respected all life, how the stars told their stories. Then something changed. Zira leaned her head on his shoulder. Logan didn't pull away. Her voice was soft. You smell strange to me. I probably stink, he said with a grin. No, she said. Not bad, just different. Like warm metal, or thunder before rain. He smiled. And you smell like crushed flowers, like spring. Zira closed her eyes. I never thought I would be close to a human. You are supposed to be enemies. Maybe not all of us, Logan said. Some of us are just crash survivors with no clue what they're doing. Zira laughed again, but before the peace could settle too deep, a sharp whistle echoed through the jungle. Zira's head snapped up, her eyes narrowed. That sound. It's from my tribe. Logan tensed. Do they know you're here? They know someone is, she said. They will follow the trail, see the dead beast, smell your blood. What will they do if they find me? Zira didn't answer right away. Her silence was loud. I see, Logan said. Zira stood. We must move. Now. There is a place, deep in the cliffs, where they do not go. Logan tried to stand, groaning in pain. Zira helped him up, slipping her arm around his waist. As they started walking, Logan asked, What happens if they catch us? She looked at him with sad eyes. They will take me, and they will kill you. Logan nodded. Then we better move, fast. Step by step, they made their way into the deeper jungle. Every branch, every stone, every leaf beneath their feet seemed to scream danger. But through the pain, Logan found strength in Zira's hand. They didn't know what waited ahead, but they knew they would face it together. Zira and Logan moved through thick jungle vines, slow but steady. Logan leaned on her, his arm over her shoulder. Every few steps his leg trembled, but he pushed forward. Sweat ran down his forehead. The sun was rising higher, and with it came the sound of distant drums. Zira stopped suddenly. They're close, she whispered. Logan listened. In the distance, the jungle birds had gone silent. Something was moving, organized. Many feet, a search party. They're tracking us? Logan asked. No, Zira said. They're tracking me. Before they could go farther, figures stepped. From the trees ahead, tall aliens wearing robes of leaf and bone, warriors of Zira's tribe, spears pointed, faces stern. Zira stepped in front of Logan. He is injured. He's not a threat. One of the warriors barked. You touched him, you brought him here, you broke the law. The crowd parted, and an older alien male stepped forward. His face was lined with age and power. His skin bore the same shimmer as Zira's, but darker. Father, Zira whispered. Chief Ardan looked at her with disappointment. You were always curious, but this is betrayal. Zira stood tall. He is not like the others. He didn't harm me. He protected me. He is human, her father growled. That is harm enough. Logan tried to speak. I didn't ask for help. I just crashed. She saved me. Ardan ignored him. You have touched our sacred ways, touched his flesh. You know what that means. Zira looked down. Yes, I know, the tribe gasped. She admits it, someone shouted. The bond is made, another cried. Ardan's voice thundered. Then you must face the soul trial. Gasps echoed again. Even Zira's eyes widened. Logan whispered, What's the soul trial? Zira replied slowly, It's a test of truth, of love. Ardan stepped forward. You claim this human touched your spirit, not just your body. You claim he is worthy. Then the fire must decide. Logan raised an eyebrow. The fire? Ardan pointed to the cliffs beyond the jungle. There is a river of heat, born from the earth. If she walks through it and comes out untouched, her bond is real. If not, she burns. She dies. Logan's heart dropped. That's insane, Zira whispered. It is sacred. Logan turned to her. You don't have to do this. Zira looked at him, calm and clear. I want to. But what if it kills you? Then it was never true, she said simply. She turned to her father. I accept the trial. The walk to the cliffs was long. Logan was not allowed to go with her. He was tied to a post in the village center, guarded by warriors who watched him like a beast. From where he sat, he could see the edge of the cliff. The river of fire was real. It flowed, like glowing lava, bright orange, hot and deadly. The heat from it reached even where he was. Zira stood at the cliff's edge, dressed in white cloth. Her body shook, but her eyes were steady. Chief Ardan stood near the edge, his voice loud for all to hear. Let the flame speak. Let it burn the lies. Let it bless the truth. Zira took a deep breath. Then, she stepped into the fire. Logan's heart stopped. The flames rose around her feet. Her skin glowed. The white cloth shimmered like stars. But she didn't scream. She didn't fall. She kept walking. Every step deeper into the river, the fire roared louder, but Zira didn't stop. The tribe fell silent. Then, the unthinkable happened. The flames parted. The fire bent away from her like wind moving around a rock. Her body was untouched. Her skin was whole. Her eyes glowed brighter than ever. She reached the other side and stepped out, unburned. A miracle. The tribe dropped to their knees. Even Ardan looked stunned. Zira stood tall. The fire has spoken. My heart is clean. My bond is true. Logan, still tied, couldn't hold back his smile. That's my girl, he whispered. Ardan walked to her slowly. I did not believe it possible, but the fire does not lie. He turned to the guards. Release the human. They obeyed at once. Logan limped forward. Zira ran to him, catching him before he fell. Their hands met, fingers locking. Ardan looked at them both. You may walk your path together, but know this, the world will not understand you. Many will still hate. Some will fear. Zira nodded. Then we walk anyway. And as the jungle winds blew through the valley, a new bond, older than fear, deeper than blood, was born in flame. The jungle had never looked so alive. The wind danced through the silver leaves. Birds with glowing wings sang from the high branches. Even the sky seemed clearer, as if the very world had paused to witness something rare, something sacred. Zira stood beside Logan on the stone path leading away from the cliffs. Her skin still shimmered faintly from the trial, as if the fire's light remained inside her. Logan leaned on a carved walking stick, his leg still stiff, but no longer broken. The tribal healers had given him medicine and food, and no longer looked at him with fear, but with quiet respect. You walked through fire, he whispered. Zira smiled gently. The fire saw my truth. And what truth was that? That my heart already chose you? Logan looked away for a second, trying to hide the emotion in his eyes. You could have died. I didn't, she said, because what I felt was real. They walked together along a moss-covered path that led through ancient stone gates. The village behind them was silent, watching, unsure of what to do next. Zira's father, Chief Ardan, stepped forward. His face held no anger now, only pride mixed with sadness. You are the first in many generations to bond outside the blood, he said, and you did it by fire. Zira bowed her head respectfully. I did it with my heart. He turned to Logan. You carry no weapon, you brought no army, but you gave her your life without fear. I just didn't want to lose her, Logan replied. Ardan nodded slowly. Then she is yours, and you are ours. There was silence for a moment. Then, one by one, the tribe members began to chant softly. The sound was low, like a hum, but it grew louder. It was the song of unity, an old melody meant only for rare moments, the joining of spirits. Zira reached out and took Logan's hand. In my people's way, she said, touch means promise. Then I promise, Logan whispered. As long as I live. Together they walked past the tribe, through the chanting, and into the deep jungle once more, not as strangers, not as enemies, but as one. Days passed. Logan and Zira built a home in the high cliffs where jungle met sky. A simple shelter carved from stone and wrapped in vines. It overlooked the glowing waterfalls and the valley of beasts. Logan's leg healed with time. Zira taught him how to climb trees with her people's rope vines, how to listen for thunder beasts, and how to pick fruits that didn't bite back. He taught her human words, slowly, patiently. She liked the sound of his voice. Especially when he said her name, they laughed together, hunted together, rested together under the stars. One night, Zira lay with her head on his chest, listening to the steady beat of his heart. "You came from the sky," she said, "and I thought you were a curse." He laughed softly. "I thought I was dead." "But you lived," she said, "and changed everything." Logan looked up at the stars. "Do you think the galaxy is ready for a story like ours?" Zira grinned. "Let them learn." Suddenly a bright light streaked across the sky. Logan sat up. "A ship?" Zira followed his gaze. A small dot was falling fast, trailing smoke. Just like him. Logan stood. "That's a distress signal. Someone else just crashed." Zira tilted, her head. "Do we go?" He looked at her. "Your tribe. They might not approve." Zira took his hand. "Then we don't ask." And just like that they were running, through jungle, through moonlight, toward the crash. When they reached the edge of the crater, the smoke was thick. Flames flickered in the wreckage. Logan limped forward and peeked inside. A figure was inside. Small, hurt, but alive. He looked back at Zira. "Another outsider." Zira nodded. "Then we do what must be done." Together they reached in and pulled the figure out, and as they carried the stranger into the jungle, Zira whispered to Logan, "This is how it starts, isn't it? Not with war, but with hands reaching out." Logan smiled. "Exactly." They walked on side by side, no longer just a healer and a survivor, but the first thread of something new, a human and an alien girl, who touched by accident, bonded by fire, and now walked forward, together, toward whatever the stars had planned.